Welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking out the channel. Hope everybody's doing fantastic out there. If you guys could subscribe, that'd be great. Subscribe also to the Tobin and Leroy Show, weekdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on 560 WQAM. Was boots on the ground today in Miami Gardens for Miami Dolphins training camp, and of course, it was Tua day. It was Tua rolls right out there, gets the people fired up. Says, show me the money. He's got his brand new deal. They made it officially official before Mike McDaniel stepped to the podium today. And Coach McDaniel and Tua Tagovailoa, a package deal. So tight at the hip, these two. And all this drama that was possibly building up last week with Tua not practicing, having a hold in, all is now squashed. We can get into it. Hell, it ain't even the newest deal in the NFL anymore. Jordan Love is the newest deal in the NFL. But this is the first time that Tua was out there with his counterparts and his teammates and getting the people revved up and putting this all behind. And I think Tua, it was cool today because he did speak on the contract and spoke to reporters for about 20 minutes. It was a very cool scene. If I could set it for you, I think normally they don't reserve seats, but they had set aside chairs on the side and the front row for Tua's family and his coaching staff. You had Darrell Bevell was there, Mike McDaniel was there, Chris Greer, Brandon Shore, and some other individual who escaped. I think it was Frank Smith. Tua's wife was there, his kids were there, his adorable son was probably the star of the press conference because this kid was ace. He was like just star of the show. Like, yes, Daddy, I know you signed a $200+ million contract, but I'm gonna just do what I want. And it was adorable. It was totes adorbs to see, Tua, a young father, hitting this career milestone for himself, and getting to see him soak that in. He's a big family guy, and the tie-ins and the importance that his dad had. So I'm sure for him that had to feel like somewhat of a full circle moment for him to have his son, basically taking ownership of the press conference room. Although I say very well behaved kid, just exploratory, was not screaming, was not a stinker, was just curious and kind of just exploring everything. So it's a great age, man. You miss those things. It goes fast. As a dad, those things go fast. So that was a really, really cool moment. But I think that for me, with the Tua press conference, the thing that I enjoyed the most, honestly, was what he had to say about Mike McDaniel. And yeah, these two will be tied, and there's going to be an inevitability of whatever happens with these two, good or bad, they're linked. And people would wonder, like, how is Mike McDaniel going to, was he going to handle this? Was he going to put all of his chips in the table? Mike McDaniel strikes me as a pretty authentic guy, and I do think there's an awareness there of him knowing that the big reason he got the job was because of Tua. Can you save this guy? Can you make this something? Can this work your offense? And my favorite part, I think, today was Tua knowing that appreciation for Mike McDaniel is there, and that Mike McDaniel apparently was going to bat for him to ownership, and that they were, that he was trying to go to them and say, hey, this is the guy that I want. And I thought that was really, really cool from Tua.
Well, I think it says a lot. Word gets around quick, and I don't think he knows that I know, but I've been told from several birdies that are, here in the facility that are upstairs as well, that he went to bat for me the day that I went out and practiced 11 on 11, 7 on 7 before we went on that little break, that he went to bat for me with, our owner. And, I won't go into details of things that I heard were said, but just know, like, he is what he says. He says what he told me, and he did what I was thinking he would do for me, and not just for me, but for any other player. So I'm very grateful for that.
And I think that, first of all, it's awesome. And second of all, the idea that Mike McDaniel is about it. He's not just a speaker of many words, but he is a guy who does have his players back and does seem just an authentic, genuine guy. And, their story has been told 100 times about, the cut-ups, the talk today. Tua was rehashing some of that today. The talks on the Jets, the coming to the facility, the cutting up of the 900 plays, all of that stuff. But ultimately, look, they have had pretty good success with each other. They think they both know, and that was a big point from Tua today, is that there is a heavy burden that comes with this contract now, whether you want to recognize it or not. Mike McDaniel kind of downplayed it, and he goes, well, there's always pressure. There's always expectations, but there is a different expectation with how many commas are in your paycheck. And for Tua, he's now in this spot where, he's got to uphold the status of, okay, there were questions. Are you a franchise quarterback? Are you an elite quarterback? Should an organization? Well, those questions are over right now. Not that there isn't things to prove, but they have put their money where their mouth is now. And so it is now upon him, his team, the coach, to go out there and produce at the big time level and do the big time winning things. Not to say that they can't. They are definitely, I think, capable of doing those things. But it is time for them to go and do the things that really, really matter.
Well, we haven't won the games that we wanted to win. Deep into the playoffs, get deep into the playoffs. Win the games that matter. That's what I would say. All of that is cool, but I could have been the worst, had the worst passer rating. I could have, threw for 1,000 yards. But if we were in those games and we were winning those big time games, and we got to go and win the championship, I'd trade all of that. I'd trade all of that for that.
Goosey's dude. Yes, very unselfish things. Although don't have the worst passer rating and throw for 1,000. We call that the Fitzpatrick. Don't do that, dude. Need Tua to still be putting up big time numbers, and this coach to continue to unlock a lot of things, which hopefully will be unlocked going into this. But it was ultimately just very, very cool to be there today for that moment, and it did feel like something special. I remember being in that room for much more ominous days of Tua's career, where he's getting peppered with things about do you feel wanted? Do you think the organization wants you? I remember being at the one where he had the infamous quote, "I don't not feel wanted." And you're just like, oh, geez, dude. That's brutal. It's brutal. You could hear the very feigning light of optimism that's still there in a young player's mind. And to go from those moments to a moment like today where it's it's all good. Big smile on his face. He was cheesing. I'm not going to lie. That was a man today. He had a $200 million smile today because, even he was making jokes about taxes. He was making jokes. What should I purchase? What should I go out there and do? Him and Mike McDaniel said, don't get a private jet. It was a lot of fun loving stuff, too. It wasn't all serious. It did seem like a guy that, who maybe doesn't personally always allow the individual stuff. It did seem like a guy who did get to soak in, holy crap, I have made it. Financially, I have made it. And my life is forever changed. And that was kind of cool to see him relaxed and feel that part. Mike McDaniel today said that he surprised Tua with an emphatic hug.
We have players attacking the day to the level of early afternoon coffees are a dime a dozen. Okay, that moment, wasn't playing on that, but it's definitely something you remember. That's just how it's hard not to have a lot of time pass through your mind really fast, but it was something cool to share, and he was coordinated enough not to spill the coffee that I spilled onto me, so I was fired up about that as well.
Did you pick him up with the hug?
I basically suplexed him.
Okay.
And then Chris was very mad. No, it was just a leverage form fit, nothing to the ground. You know, we didn't violate the CBA, and we're good.
It was just full of energy. It was an enthusiastic $200 million hug, and it's cool. I'm glad that the coach has that genuine enthusiasm for his quarterback to the point where he is having him spill coffee, because the hug is so bromance-tastic that it just has to be that way. So good for those guys. And obviously all the other stuff of, hey, he's got to prove it. The deal, though, like I think as everybody's kind of pointed out, I don't think it's ridiculous. I don't even think like the biggest Tua, the most ardent Tua haters have looked at his deal and just be like, great. Like, no, I think everybody knew that he was going to get paid, knew he was going to get what he got. And now it's up to him to prove that he is worth that big ass number. And there is going to be a lot of line going into this year. I'm glad that this deal got done, because holy hell, I was really tired of this segment and this talk of is he going to get it? Should he be worth it? Would you bet? Well, now they have. And now it is just about football. Now it is just about proving that he is worth it, because there are going to be, if he doesn't do it, if he falls on his face, there are going to be plenty of people who are ready to line up and laugh at the Dolphins for a That's So Dolphins deal. And I'm hoping the opposite's going to happen. I'm hoping that that Uno can sit up here with double Uno middle fingers at everybody, and continue to, throw the naysayers aside, because that would be fantastic. I would like to see, a 24-year skid come to an end, and then hopefully even many more. I don't even want that just to be the bar for this season, but hopefully that's the bare minimum of what this season's going to be. And the stress of a big deal is no longer lingering over the situation.